Hello and welcome to this presentation on 10 ways to win more work without a showroom. Now, you may have found this online somewhere, or you're already a KBB Supply Services trade partner and you're in the university just having a look around and you're wondering what it's all about. Now, this video is probably one of the most important videos that you'll find in the KBB University, or if you're just finding it online, one of the most important videos that you'll ever watch if you're thinking about trying to build your own KBB business and you want to get off the tools, because that's what I did, and I'm going to show you how I did it. There are some main points that we need to cover, and all of them are really important. But if you want to take that transition off the tools, this is how you're going to do it. So let's get into it. So in this presentation, I'm going to go through all the steps of how I built my own installation business without a big expensive showroom. So the purpose of the presentation in regards to yourself is to help you put more money in your pocket and better your life and your business. Help you establish your own local brand over time. Maybe these things don't happen overnight, but over time, it doesn't take too long sometimes if we do things right. But help you establish that. Give you independence away from the big sheds, get away from labor-only work if that's what you want to do. Streamline your current business. Maybe you're happy with where you are, but you just want to streamline it. And this video will be useful for that as well. And just be ready for the future, as the world is changing all the time. With digital age is upon us, and streamlining is a very, very smart thing to start doing. And then help you achieve more than you ever thought was possible, because I guarantee there'll be some things that you see in this presentation that you're not doing, or you're doing differently, and maybe there's some good ideas in here and it will take you to a place hopefully where you didn't think you would get to. So, introduction. So, who am I? I'm Aaron Johnsfield. I've been in the industry now for 20 years, and I've had my own business for 10 years. I've built a 7-figure business. We're a multi-award winning retail business, and we do a lot of big contract work as well. So we're growing ourselves as an installation business. So we started from the ground up, and now we're doing 1,200 to 2,000 installations a year. So we have a lot going on. And I'm also the founder of KBB Supply Services. So the service for supplying gear has come after the installation business. So we definitely understand installation businesses as a supplier like nobody else. And I think that's a very unique position for us to be in, is that we can help guide, we understand the issues you're having, and we've built a whole service around being really helpful to you. So in this presentation, you'll be able to get access to everything that I have access to, and I'll be sharing my resources with you. So if anything that you need to help grow your business from here, anything that I have access to, basically, I'll show you how to get access to it yourself. So first of all, don't see not having a showroom as a disadvantage, because it's not. You can make sales quite easily without one if you do things properly. I think some people just say, "Oh, I ain't got a showroom." I speak to a lot of people, and they see that, a showroom is sort of a blocker. And if it was a blocker, I wouldn't be sat here doing this presentation, because it's just not required. If you do everything else right, you can definitely avoid the cost of a showroom. As a trade partner, you'll now be, if you're already a trade partner, that is, or if you're thinking about becoming one, you will be able to offer a premium service, like an end-to-end service. So this is supply, fit, design, service, warranty, everything that anybody else offers. And it is premium because the big boys say they're offering these services, but they just subcontract out the work, basically. And the customer, it's a lottery in it. Sometimes they get a good job or a bad one. And that's clearly not a good thing for our industry. There's lots of Facebook groups that have horror stories all over them, and it's not fun. It's not good for us as an industry to have that going on. But as a trade partner, you'll be able to look after that customer from the start to the finish of their journey, and that is why it is a premium service. But number one rule, never forget this. As we move through this presentation, you'll be thinking a lot of things. Some of it will be different thinking, but the biggest truth that you'll ever come across, and I want you to remember, is that customers will buy from who they trust the most. A lot of people come on board as trade partners, or we have conversations with people, and they're always trying to be the cheapest because they think that price is the main driver for a kitchen, bathroom, whatever it is, and the truth is it's not. And the rules of selling is that the customers will buy from who they trust the most. No matter what they've told you about budget, whoever they feel the most comfortable with, they will buy from. And that's, it's always the case. In my business, we've been told many, many times, you weren't the cheapest, but we went with you. And that's because we offer the best service, and people, they can see that from our reviews online and all the rest of it. So it is an easy decision for them to make, to come to us, even if it was an extra couple of grand or 500 quid or 3 grand, sometimes more, but they felt more comfortable. So it's your job to not overthink the price side of things and think about how you build trust throughout the process of when you first meet a customer and your marketing and all the rest of it. Because if you're good at building that trust, the price will not be top of the list. If price is top of the list and the customer's saying that they're not going with you because of price, you've definitely done something else wrong, and they're using that as an excuse. I mean, obviously sometimes people just haven't got the money, but if you're dealing with people that just haven't got the money, then you're going to the wrong place to find the work anyway, which again, we'll get to that. So rule number 2, customers will also want to trust, but the reason how they will build that trust is they'll look for multiple points of validation to fully trust you. Proof that your work is great and other people saying how good you are is always the best way to convince them. So social media, your website, any online profiles, a Google business page, and previous customers obviously saying nice things like reviews online. They're the things that we need to get out there into the digital space, because if those things are there and people can find them, there's already a level of trust being built before they've even made an inquiry with you. So if all those things are quite strong, then when they do come to booking you in for a survey or asking you to come and quote the kitchen, they've already got a good idea that you're the man for the job. Or, if the wrong things are there, so if you've got not so much going on social media, or it's poor, or we've got, not a great website, and you will attract the customers that are the same things you put out there. So if you put crap out there, you're going to get crap customers as a rule. If you've got good quality stuff going on, and all this stuff is really easy to do, by the way, this is not difficult stuff, and we can guide you through how to do all this quite easily. We've got lots of resources, lots of services we can offer you to make sure that all these things are done. So you've got a high level of trust with the customer before you even get there. But they will go to multiple places to find out about you. So just bear that in mind. So winning more work, how I did it the early days. So the rule number 1 is use software and keep track of customers, which is the first line. Keeping on top of all your quotes and knowing where every customer is up to is the first thing to do. We've all got spreadsheets, pens, pads. We need to consolidate that into one place and make sure that every customer moving forward, we know exactly where they're up to. We've got their details. We know what was involved in the job. We need to keep records, because as we start to move on and we start to get a bit busy, especially if you're going to look at offering your own end-to-end service, you need to be organized, and getting organized early is a really clever thing to do. A lot of people say, I don't need a system yet that manages my customer journey because I only do X amount of jobs a year. I'm like, well, it's rubbish, that, really, because we need to get things like that in early, because trying to organize that later is really difficult and can be messy. And you want to get confident using these systems before you get too busy. So it's really, really, really clever to get this in place very early on. And again, I'm going off my own experience. One of the very first things I did was buy a piece of software that would run my business, even though it was very, very, very small at the time. That piece of software still runs my business today. Now it's a multi-million-pound business. And it was the smartest thing I ever did, was getting something in place very early. Because as people have come into my business, I've just been able to plug them in. I haven't needed to start reinventing the wheel because my business is growing. Now, your business may not grow to the size ours is, but it doesn't matter. Even if you're going to go to 2, 3, 4 jobs a month, you still need to be organized, and you still want to know where all your customers are up to, because it's just stuff that you have to keep in your head, and nothing lives in your head rent free. That's what the software is there for. You don't want things like that taking up capacity in your brain. You want it out into a piece of software that's probably quite inexpensive. The piece of software that we give you as well is free. So one of the design software that we give you, you can store all your customer data in there. It doesn't keep track of the pipeline of where everyone's up to, but at least it's somewhere to put all your stuff. We do another piece of software which isn't free, but it's not very expensive, which does manage the process. I'll come on to that a bit more later, and it does help you keep track of where all your customers are up to, and it communicates to your customer, and it really makes you look really professional. So getting something in very early on the software front, I would do that immediately, because you're going to need a bit of time as well to learn it and make sure that you got your head around it. They're not very difficult to use, but it might take you a week to sort of like have a few goes at it and then understand how it all works. So you don't want to be doing that while you're trying to do everything else later on down the line. Upload plans and pictures while you're on site. So if you've got software, get your plans and pictures uploaded while you're there. What we do is create a WhatsApp group for every job and just upload everything into that, and then we know that's all the information for that job. Like I've said at the bottom here, all trade partners get free designer quote software, and there's an option of a full CRM system as well. CRM is a customer relationship management system, which takes care of everything from end to end. So if you've had an info pack from us, if you've signed up, go into that info pack and read it, because all the information you need is in there. If you haven't signed up and you've not got your info pack yet, sign up on the form below this video or email us, trade@kbbsupplyservices.co.uk, and we'll book in a call to help you out on that. Take samples to surveys, come prepared. You don't need to carry everything, but just have a few bits. The most purchased products, you want to take a shaker door, a slab door, a handleless door, the usual suspects. And we want to leave something behind for the customer as well, like leaflets and brochures and all that. If you look in your information pack again, there's options to have your own branded brochures with your own logos on, your own leaflets. We design everything for you, and they're brilliant to leave behind with customers. It just makes you look so much more professional, especially having your own logo on your own brochure. I mean, not many people have that. Even proper kitchen businesses don't normally have that. They usually use the supplier's brochure, whereas we will give you your own brochure that's got all your own products in it, and it's got your logo on it. So as far as anyone's concerned, it's your stuff. But never forget to take samples to surveys. Do the survey properly. So we can do surveys wrong. There is rules to follow while we're doing that survey, and there is a video in KBB University, how to do the perfect survey and quote. So I would say, instead of me going into loads of detail in this video, go and find that video. If you're not able to find that because you've not yet signed up as a trade partner, either sign up, and then you'll be able to get access to the KBB University, where you can go and watch all these other videos. But doing the survey properly is very, very, very important. There are rules to follow, which I've laid out in that video, and you'll find that if you do them, you'll have a lot more success, because we can make a good impression, and we can also make a very bad one. And you'll be surprised how many people unwittingly make a bad impression just by doing a couple of things that just, and what we're doing is we're looking at the conversion rate of everything, and just doing all the little bits right each time make a difference. So the surveys, your first chance to make you never get a second chance to make a first impression, do you? So it's really critical, this one. Use the neighborhood cards and printed literature. So we can send you little neighborhood cards. When you go to a survey, post it in the 10 houses near the survey. If you're doing 3 surveys a week, that's 30, 40 houses a week that are getting leafleted. And, I get that you might not want to do that, but at the end of the day, if you don't do things like that, then the price you pay is, well, less coverage. It's free at the end of the day, practically free, to put those leaflets through the door, and I would take advantage of that. And printed literature, like I've just said, so your brochures, we do full branding packs, so service brochures as well as product brochures, which again, go to your information pack and have a good look at those. And they're really, really powerful. Trade partners that have signed up are using these already, and they're getting people ringing them up already, and it's really, really good to see. But making sure that you've got printed stuff as well as your online stuff is really important to leave with customers, use for leaflets and all the rest of it, give to people when they ask about you. It really does help elevate your brand and your profile in the local area. So have your calls answered is one that, as soon as you're putting anything out there, you need to be making sure that phone is answered. Paying for any level of marketing or taking it seriously and then having calls diverted to your mobile, you are going to miss those calls. You're going to miss more calls than what you think. And we had a support group meeting last week, and I pointed out to the guys in there, some of these guys are paying for marketing. So I said, if you missed 2 calls a week for a year, which is reasonable, the people are missing more calls than that. But let's just say you're missing out on 2 leads, because once people ring, statistically, they don't usually ring back. And if they get an answer phone, it just makes your business look a bit rubbish. Now, I get that early right now, you might not need a telephone answering service. However, it's not something you can ignore forever. And I put it in fairly early, because the statistics show that it has to be done. If you're missing 2 leads a week because of you're not answering the phone, and let's say an average job when you're doing supply and fit, it's 15 grand. So I think the figure we came to was like, if you were paying for marketing and you didn't have anyone answering the phone and you were missing calls, you're going to miss out on something like £300,000 to £400,000 worth of turnover through missed leads. Now that's a lot. So if you look at, just do the maths on it, so to pay to have your phone answered, if it's 50, 100, 150 quid a month, it's less than a couple of grand a year, and think about what you're potentially missing out on because the phone's not answered. And tradespeople and people that have transitioned, even myself, I hate being on the phone, which is why I did this early on, because I can't stand being on the phone. I'm not good at it. And I just recognize that, if I'm having a family day out, I'm having a day off, or I'm in a meeting, or I'm with a customer, I can't answer the phone. So what happens to those calls? Now, one solution I did very, very early on was I used this service called answer.co.uk. It's good. They answer the phone for you, but they just take a message. Now, what we found was we get the customer's details, which is great, but sometimes getting back hold of them was difficult. Sometimes you've got to be on the ball with this. So if it's been like an hour and you've not rang them back, we were finding it difficult to get back in touch with them. Don't get me wrong, it's better than nothing. And if you're looking for the cheapest solution, that's where I'd go first. However, when you're looking at doing it, properly, and when I say properly, I mean having a call answering service where they answer it and they'll book you in. They'll book that customer. They'll have a proper conversation with the customer, and if needed, they'll patch them through to you if they can't book them in on the phone for a survey. We offer a full service for that, and it's about £100 a month, and then you buy credits. So I think the most it'll ever cost you is something like £120 a month. But when you think about that over a year, it's less than 1,500 quid, or that's around that number, for a whole year, and your phone's answered until 8 o'clock at night and until 5 o'clock on a Saturday. And it's just a no-brainer to do. So either set something up early days like that, and then when you're spending a bit more on your marketing, maybe go for the full answering service down the line. But ignoring this is a sin, a big sin. You cannot ignore it, because you will miss out on a significant amount of jobs because you're not answering the phone. Use Google My Business, Google Maps. Update your profile. Treat it just like you would your social media. Make sure that you're updating, getting customer reviews, updating jobs at the start, during, and the end, and build it into your process for each job. So part of building the process for your business is, have you sent the customer a review request? Now, I get that you might not want to ask all of them in case there's been any issues, but making sure Google My Business page is up to speed is really important. Google's the daddy, and it's going to be the daddy for a long time, from what I can see. So I would be paying a lot of attention to this and making sure that, just like I would my Facebook and Instagram page, I'd make sure that this is updated as well. Use another review site or recommendation site. Customers, remember, they'll look for in multiple places. Being a Wix Trusted Trader is by far the biggest one, but then you've got things like My Builder, Rated People, and make sure that all the reviews that you're getting are going onto the correct platforms. And reviews are worth so much money to you. They're worth like each review is worth tens of thousands of pounds to you. And people don't put anywhere near enough effort into this. It's really, really bad that people aren't doing it, because if someone said to me, I'll take your house off you, or I'll take all your reviews off you, I'd rather them take my house off me, because the business I could generate with my reviews, I could buy myself a new house. I could not replace those reviews very quickly. And I mean that, I really do, because the reviews show customers that are thinking about using our service how good we are. It makes it easy for us to sell. So, they're worth so much money. And, I can't stress enough just how important it is that you put a lot of effort into getting these reviews. Now, if you use the CRM system that we've built for you, this is done on autopilot with regards to your Facebook, Google reviews, and all the rest of it. Obviously, Trusted Trader and My Builder and things like that. I definitely still use those platforms, by the way, because they're a great way to get leads. So, but obviously, if a customer's come through that platform, we want the review on that platform. So, early days, the reviews may be more on those platforms than they might be on your Google and Facebook, but we definitely need to pay attention to Google and Facebook as well over time. The more you've got, the better. Just absolutely go for it with reviews. Get as many as you can, however you can. Post your jobs and what you're up to on your Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Use hashtags, do a bit of hashtag research. Basically, what that does is it pushes it out to a wider audience. Anyone that's interested in those hashtags, the algorithm will pick up on and show them your posts. We're not trying to be viral superstars here. What all we're doing is we're showing customers who may come to have a look. Remember, multiple points of validation. They might see you on Google first, or My Builder first, or wherever first, and then they come to your social media to see what you're up to. Now, if your last post was 2 months ago and it was a rubbish post at that, they're probably not very confident at this point. If you've done a post within the last week and it's one of you on the jobs, and there's a bit of character about the way your business runs, and there's a bit of personality in there, that's going to make them feel a lot more comfortable about getting in touch with you. So again, we can teach you all the stuff to do with your social media as a trade partner. You just need to make sure that this is on the agenda each week and it's not forgotten about, because it really is important. A website people will trust. So that word again, trust. Speak to us about your website if you need one. But your website must have reviews, multiple ways for people to get in touch, showcase your work, and then any awards that you may have had. What's special about you, your experience, the warranty you offer, blogs, just everything really. So we have a website service. It's in our additional services video. If you go to the onboarding video 2 in the university, you'll see in there and in your information pack all the additional services. Now, one of those things is a website, and then we have built a website structure, and we'll take you through all this. So the onboarding of the website, we get all this information off you, and it really does. It does really work really well. So the website looks very trustworthy. It's a template that we know works. But going spending £400-500 on a website that's got 4 or 5 pages is not going to cut it. You're not going to convince people to spend big money with you with a really crap website. And I'm not saying you need to spend thousands. You don't. Our website is only £900, by the way, which you'll see in your information pack and all the rest of it. And we have options to spread that £900 over 12 months. So it's like 60-70 quid a month, something. It's ridiculously cheap. And what you're getting for that is a £4,000 website, but making sure you've got something that looks really trustworthy. Again, multiple points. So they might see you on Facebook first, but then they go to your website. They might see your leaflet first, but on your leaflet, it's going to have your website URL. Then they're going to go to your website. So if we built your website, we'd build the leaflets, we'd design the leaflets so it all looks the same. The brand's really consistent, looks really well. And again, the guys that are already doing this are seeing a lot of success with it. But whether you use us or use someone else, just make sure it's a good website. Don't expect to spend £400-500 and it look amazing and it convince customers to do business with you, because it won't. Offer a warranty, so making sure that your warranty is in there, and the customer needs to feel like you're reducing the risk. So in a customer's mind, we want to sort of give them the dream outcome. We want to make sure that the likelihood of achievement of that outcome is likely through the reviews and all the rest of it, and then we want to reduce their risk by offering a warranty. Now, this is critical, because even if you've convinced them all the way to the point of them giving you a deposit for the job, you want to make sure that there's any last niggles are dealt with. So the warranty really does go a long way. I recommend using hip.insure. They are a good company that I've worked with for many years. I don't get anything from recommending them, by the way. It's just and there are others out there. Use the one that you want to use. I'm not trying to push that, but I'm just letting you know that for a very small fee on every job, they will insure the warranty and the deposit. And that just makes your customers feel a lot more comfortable. So 10.1, I've thrown an extra one in here, is have a proper sales process. So back to number one at the beginning, was having your proper sales process in place. It really is important. There are videos in the KBB University on building your own sales process, which is exactly the sales process that we've used for many years. However, since we put those videos in there, we've now upgraded our services quite significantly, and we've built something that's a fully automated platform where you literally have to do nothing to manage the sales process. It's quite scary, really, what we've built, and the success that people are having with it is really good. But go to the university and watch the video on the CRM demo and walkthrough, where we'll take you through exactly how that system works. But having a sales process, there's no point in paying for marketing and doing all these other things if when you get a lead, you don't do the right things with it. You need to nurture that lead so it becomes a good conversion rate of them become a job. There's no point in having 10 leads and winning one of them, because that's a lot of surveys to do and a lot of designs and a lot of running around for not a lot of return. If you're doing 10 surveys, you at least want to be winning 3 or 4, 5, 6 maybe, but that conversion rate's only going to go up if you have a proper sales process and you're using that process properly. If you're just sending quotes out and saying, a rubbish quote on a rubbish email, and not following that customer up and not making them feel special, and not, you're going up against some big boys at it, and it's not difficult to do that, but you've got to think differently. You can't just be going, oh, it is a quote on a, that looks rubbish, and then just say, oh yeah, I hope to hear from you soon. That's what people are doing, and then they're coming back to us saying, oh, we're not making sales, and I'm like looking at it going, oh, I'm not surprised. So we've dealt with that by building this CRM system for people, because even when we said build your own, and some people did it, some people have done it well, but it's still quite a bit of work to do all the stuff that we've asked in the university. But this system just sort of does it all for you, and it makes sense just to do it that way instead of creating more work for yourself. And it will blow your mind, by the way, and it does put you immediately on the level of any other business. Like, I would say that this sales process that CRM system does it's better than anything I've ever done, and I know it's definitely better than what the big boys do. So if you're getting everything else right and you plug this in, you're going to be in a really good place, a much better place than where I was 10 years ago or beyond. So becoming a trade partner, if you're not already on board, obviously the last thing to do here, if you're not already on board with us, is become a trade partner. There's a form below this video where you can open your account. If you are a trade partner, you would have still found this video useful because it's in the university. But again, all the things that we've taught you in here as a trade partner, the language that we teach, this is what being in the community is about. I'd go to the university as well and watch 30 ways to generate leads. Go and watch that video, because at this point you might be thinking, right, I'm up for this now, and you want to whet your appetite a bit further. So head into the university and watch the video. Again, if you've not got access to the university because you're not a trade partner, get yourself signed up, open your account, get your welcome pack and your welcome box in the post, which will have everything in it. Really exciting stuff in there once you receive it, and then head into the university. And don't forget to watch this video, 30 ways to generate leads. So thank you. And I just want to reiterate that we've got a vision to change the industry and put the power of the hands, put the power into your hands. But obviously we can't do it without you. We need people joining the movement. We need people coming with us and helping well, helping themselves, really. It's not helping us. It's helping you and making sure that you're breaking away from everything you don't want to be doing and starting doing the stuff that you do want to be doing. And it is a challenge. Some of it's going to be challenging, but we've built a community and we've built systems and processes and services to deal with it all. We've got support mechanisms in place to take you from where you are now to wherever you want to be. You're not going to challenge us to the point where we can't help you. There's plenty of people in the community that would be more than happy to speak to you and tell you about their own experience with us. So hope that's been useful. Don't forget, sign up on the form below if you haven't done already, and we'll see you soon, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.